peaceful, quiet, serenity. These words describe this place. A place where you get barely any cell phone reception. A place where you go to step back from the norm and draw closer to God and the ones you love.
And what better way to bond with those you love and draw closer to the Lord than getting stranded on the backside of the wilderness together?
She can solve any trouble in a New York minute with a little bit of faith and a whole lot of fuss. She's the rock and the glue for the rest of us. Through the laughter and the tears and the Sunday morning light in Mama Age's house, everything's gonna be alright. Yeah,
this is the story of a family retreat that turned out a lot different than what we had planned on it turning out. The retreat itself was fine. It was what happened after the retreat that was not fun. So we're gonna talk about that. What retreat are you talking about, Mama AJ? Retreat that was started by some good friends of ours. Actually, they're a lot closer to my brother-in-law than me. And he and his wife decided to start a family retreat. This family retreat was awesome. There is no schedule. Well, I shouldn't say no schedule. The only thing that is planned was meal times. And even then, we had breakfast and supper. And just throughout the day, they just had snacky stuff out, like cheese and crackers and chips and grapes and crackers. Why did I say crackers twice? They had snacky stuff out. You have little ones, you know they get pretty hangry pretty quick. They had a morning devotional. That was it. As far as a schedule goes, and the rest of it, just relax. The guys went down and would play basketball. A lot of the ladies would stay up in the fellowship hall because it was on a church campground. There's this section where you can build a fire, a bonfire, just sit around and talk. Some people brought puzzles. I am an introvert, took books and things, and Sister Roll threatened me if I didn't go play a game. She did. She told me. She said she was going to make me go play a game if I didn't. But Sister Roll, I love Sister Roll. If you know the Rolls, you know some of the most fantastic people on the face of this planet. And they are some of the sweetest people. That AC is on. Now, why it's so hot in here? They did not start great. I'm rushing around, trying to get everything packed and in the car. We ended up leaving later than what we actually wanted to. We started out and we got to the big city that is nearest us. I cannot remember how long we stayed in that traffic.
You know what's worse than driving around a major city?
What?
Driving through them. I mean, the backcountry roads where a traffic jam is 5 cars waiting to pass farming equipment on the county road.
Yeah.
Once we got past all the rush hour traffic, we were fine. This campground, as I said, is on the backside of the wilderness, which is wonderful. It's really nice because you're just kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So we get there, and I was a little disappointed to find out we were not going to be in the dorm that we were in for our family reunion. Constance, if you're watching this, I'm not upset with you for that. Please do not take it that way, because I don't mean that at all. So we finally got here. I am in the restroom. I had to go potty the entire trip. I found out we're staying in the dorm that doesn't have showers. We're fixing to have supper. I'm gonna go out, and my hands are cold. They don't have the hot water on up here, and it's so cold. It's not too cold. I think it's, I don't know, 50-some degrees, 40-some. So right now we're just gonna go pick out our room. But we were in the dorm, not the one with a bathroom, but we were in the dorm with no bathroom. Thankfully, there was a space heater in there. And there was light, and it was dark, and it was light. It's having a seizure. I have to find my kid's suitcase. Of course, oh, there went the fitted sheet. Time out.
course, it's all in the bottom. Because
Why not? Why wouldn't I have packed it all in the bottom? The dust that just came off my car. Because literally, we have to go down a backcountry road to get here. And like, I just want to speak in hushed. What? Leave for 5 minutes and people lose their minds. Everybody, the guys wanted to go to the fire. The older kids wanted to go with them, so I took a little bit with me, and I'm like, we're just gonna go get ready for bed. We are in our room. It's cold, but I have a space heater going, and it's starting to warm up. I can already feel it. We are in the dorm that doesn't have showers. We're also in the dorm that has cement floors, so I might be sleeping in a hoodie tonight. Did Spino have to come with us on the trip? I don't know. Did you want to come on the trip? Yeah? Are you having fun? I'm gonna use this. Anytime there's a bad kid, be like, ow! Look at this cute little dresser. I want a dresser like that. Before I took her down to get her ready for bed and to go to bed myself because I was tired. I don't know why we do this. For some reason, me and Constance and Jeremy all got on the subject of demons. Why do we do this? I'm going to have to tell the story about the demon shadow. Let me just say, demons are real and they are not to be messed with, and I'm not making fun of them. I'm not making light of them, okay? God is more powerful than they are, but they do have an amount of power that God gives them, and they are scary. I have stories of scary interactions with them. Some of them mine, a lot of them not mine. For whatever reason, if I remember correctly, me, Jeremy, and Constance were talking about demons, because we just like to scare ourselves before we go to bed. Or I do, anyway, apparently. Go down to the dorm, and this happened. Come to the church in the wild. How did that start recording? I've been over here. That's creepy. I did not hit record. How did this start recording? So I just said, hey Google, record, and it started, hey Google, stop recording. Can I do that? That is creepy. That's the third time it started recording by itself. Now I had to hit the button. I don't know. This thing started recording all by itself. I think I'm sleeping with my Bible next to me tonight. What is even happening right now? Now, since then, my phone, which is this phone, that is just a camera right now, it'll start recording by itself if the camera is up. I don't know how it works. I was like, surely it's just like, maybe it's voice activated, maybe the phone heard me say something. So I just started saying, hey Google, and like, I don't have Google as assistant set up. I didn't at the time either on this phone, but it was creepy. We were going to take showers that night. Husband asked me, did you pack towels? Nope, sure didn't. The next day I had to go to Walmart, and it was really nice. I had the morning just all to myself. May I say this? Can we please stop trying to send mothers on a guilt trip when they say they need a break? Sometimes moms who are fantastic moms need a break. Kids are a lot. They are little. They are learning how to be a human being, and they've got 25 million questions, and they try to ask them all within a 10-minute span. And then they start fighting over the dumbest stuff. One finds a cool stick in the grass, and the other one wants it. So now we're having a full-on war over a stick that just fell out of the tree, or a pine cone or something. Speaking of which, this next day, later on, one of my nephews came in. Maybe it's the night before. He came in with a mark right here. Not a bad mark, but I could tell he'd been bleeding. What happened? What happened to your face? He's like, oh, we were having a pine cone war. That was my fault for asking. Just I take the hit for that one. I shouldn't have asked. So anyway, take my newly bought towel to the shower to find out there's no hot water. I washed my hair, washed my face, my arms, my hands, my lips, just to feel a little fresher. And then I went about my day, and it was actually very relaxing. So, it's our second day here. Last night was kind of rough, but at the same time, I slept better here, I think, than I did at home. Couldn't shower last night because I forgot towels to make a Walmart run. I just got back and I didn't make it back in time for breakfast, so I stopped at Mickey D's. I don't know what the sauce is they put in this. Delicious. I got the whole morning to myself. Sometimes you just need to be by yourself and eat some food and drink some coffee in peace, which is what I got to do. Just got back to the campground and something about the battery saver, something needs servicing, so I was flashing on my car about 5 minutes down the road. I was praying I'd get back here and I did. So I need to go find my husband. I'm seeing smoke up there. Oh, I assume they're having a fire. Either that or something's on fire. I hope not. I am going to go get a shower and then just chill for the rest of the day, because that's the whole point of this. They have scheduled meal times, and then they have a devotional after breakfast, which I wasn't here for because I didn't make it back in time. I had to go to Walmart. And we're out in the boondocks, so the nearest one was like 30 minutes away. I need to go find my family, my husband in particular, to tell him what the car is doing, because we don't want the battery dying on the way home. I don't know. I'm going to go find my hubby and see what's wrong with this car. Now, when I was on my way back from Walmart, as I mentioned in that video, I had to go find my husband because car was acting up on my way home. Now, it was about a 30-minute drive into town, and about 15 minutes of that was just pure dirt gravel roads. Like I said, we're on the backside of the wilderness. So I thought maybe that had something to do with it. Maybe it jostled something. That whatever the warning light, was telling me. So I told my husband, and thankfully our friend John was there, who is fantastic with cars. I told Doran, and the guys were talking about it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna let them take care of it. They know about cars. I'm just gonna let those three discuss, figure out what is wrong with this thing. Next day was the last day there. And you know how it is when you're with friends and things, you don't want to leave, and so you just kind of stand around and talk for a while. And we did that. We talked for a long time, and well, this weekend has been fun. I wanted to get it going, but apparently my son went with his uncle down to the river. I can hear them all hollering down there. Everybody's getting hangry, I think, so it's time for supper. Just pure country out here. I'm just glad we were able to come. Finally go to leave. Us, my brother-in-law and his family, and our friend John. We were the last 3 families off of the grounds. My husband's driving. As we are leaving, the Traverse starts acting weird. Fun times. So anyway, we get outside of the gate. Warren turns the Traverse off, and if I remember correctly, it would not turn back on. Thankfully, Jeremy and John both stopped. It is cold. And it is raining. Maybe it was the battery. Maybe there was something with the battery. So the guys popped the hood, and Emmy speaks up and was like, hey, we have a car, an SUV, where the battery isn't under the hood, it's under the floorboards in the back seat. Why is it under the floorboards in the back seat? I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to take our kids out of this car. It's cold, it's raining. Put them in Jeremy's vehicle where they could keep warm, and they didn't care. And I got in there too, and Emmy and I are sitting there talking, and the guys are trying to figure this stupid thing out. We decide the best thing to do is to go into the nearest town, buy a battery, and at some point John said it needed a new alternator. Now remember, we're in the backside of the wilderness. The nearest town is at least 30 or 40 minutes away. I can't win for losing. We just ride with Jeremy, and we're like, Okay, first off, everybody's hungry at this point. It's supper time. We all were going to stop somewhere, I think, anyway, so they found this barbecue place. It was actually really nice. There's a sign in the bathroom that said something like 5 out of 5 stars would pee here again or would poop here again, something like that. I don't know, it was really funny. Plan is they're going to drop us girls and all the kids off, 25 of our kids, off this barbecue place, and then the 3 of them are going to go to AutoZone or O'Reilly, whatever the nearest auto parts store was. They're going to get the alternator and the battery, and then the 3 of them are going to go back and fix the vehicle. I go in and I have to go to the bathroom, so I go to the bathroom and I come back out. Doran's there. He was really stressed. Didn't take a whole lot of discernment to see that. I asked him, aren't you guys going to go get the alternator and the battery and all that? He's like, no, because the guys told me to come here and eat. Jeremy and John saw the door and was super stressed out, and they said, just go, sit, eat, relax. We'll take care of it. Long story short, somehow we got the Traverse to where we were. It needed a new alternator and a new battery, which John was able to do. The problem was with how the newer cars are made. It took him, I think it was 3 hours, him and Jeremy laying in the cold parking lot of a barbecue place, 11 o'clock at night, laying in a puddle of antifreeze, changing our alternator and our battery. And John actually said, these type of SUVs, like what our Traverse is, he said they are the worst to work on. He said the older vehicles, it probably would have taken him 10 minutes. But where everything was positioned, that was what took so long. And I remember he was up on top, under the hood doing it. And then he'd have to get underneath, and he'd have to reach up, and he'd have to pull things out, and then he'd have to get up, and he'd have to unscrew this, and this, and then he'd have to get back underneath, and then he'd have to pull stuff under there. Him and Jeremy, like I said, it took him probably 3 hours. It was 11 something at night by the time they got done. I took my kids, and they were in Jeremy's vehicle. Emmy and I are just leaning against the driver's side door, talking, freezing together, and watching the guys mess with this stupid car. And if I remember correctly, it happened this way. Emmy turned, I saw her look back, and she went, seriously? I turned around, one of my dear, dear children, who I love very much, licking the driver's side window. Again, kids. Being a parent is not boring. It's actually quite entertaining sometimes. I think she eventually fell asleep leaning against her older cousin, which was actually really cute. I wanted to go home at this point. So John pulls out the old alternator and tosses it in the grass. My Traverse is a 2011. I looked at it and I said, John, do you think that is like the original alternator that was put in this thing when it was made and first driven off the lot back in 2011? And he said, probably. It was in bad shape. It was old, it was rusted, and thankfully they were able to take it back to the store. Traverse is fixed, it's running, we're great, we're golden. I want to go home. Emmy's like, no, please don't try to go home, because what if it breaks down on your way home? You guys would be all by yourself in the dark, because they didn't want to go home that late at night. We were 30 minutes from the campground. Maybe, we had to backtrack a little bit, but I conceded, and I was like, all right. Jeremy got a hold of the man who runs the grounds and explained what happened and asked if we could stay another night, and he said sure. God was good, because it broke down right outside the gates of the grounds. We could not have gotten stranded in a more beautiful place. That's a pond down there. I don't know if it was bird poop or sap. The next day was Sunday. So I was just like, I just want to get this car packed up, because we just unpacked necessities. Home. I just want to go home. But I think it was Doran came to me and he said, hey, Jeremy wants to, because it's Sunday, Jeremy wants to have just a little church service, kind of. And then we came home. Jeremy and John didn't have to stay. It wasn't their car. They could have been like, oh, we're going to pray for you, but we're just going to go home. I mean, they could have done that, and honestly, they would have been within their rights to do that. John did not have to fix that alternator in the cold. Those guys did not have to lay in a puddle of antifreeze at 11 o'clock at night messing with the stupid alternator in our car. They could have gone home and just left us to figure it out on our own. And it was one of the situations we found out who our friends are, which, Jeremy's family, so I guess not a friend. But still, even though he's family, didn't mean he had to stick around. Some family doesn't. Will we go this year? Oh yeah, we are going this year, but we're going to have to get a new car. Because I am not doing that again. Absolutely not. Oh Lord, please don't let me have to do that again. Anyway, that's the story. I think it's this light. I'm blind. I think it's this light why it's so hot in here, because I know I have that air conditioner on. It hasn't kicked on in a while. Maybe I need to go check it. I'm tired and I'm rambling. Anyway, good night.
And for thy pleasure they are created, for thou